Hey there everybody, I'm Joshua Ryan, and today we're going to be doing something that absolutely nobody else on the internet is doing. Speculate. That's right, today we're going to be looking at the future of the MCU, and while there's a lot that we know, there's still a whole lot that we don't. But that doesn't mean that we can't try and predict where the future of the Marvel Cinematic Universe will take us. So sit back, let's do our best to look forward in time and see how many futures have the outcome we're hoping for. Now this one seems like an obvious one. Teased in the after-credit scene of Guardians of the Galaxy 2, Adam Warlock will likely be the villain in the third film. Adam Warlock plays an important role in the Infinity Gauntlet comic run that inspired Avengers Infinity War, so a lot of fans expected him to make an appearance and even help take down Thanos. Now while we didn't see him in the Infinity Saga, the powerful character is set for his introduction in Guardians of the Galaxy 3. Now if you remember, Thor remained with the Guardians the last we saw them. Adam Warlock's an extremely formidable character, so having Thor on their side is going to be a huge help for the Guardians if they do in fact face off against Warlock. Now the internet has already begun fan casting the character with some images of Zac Efron imagined in the role circulating online. And you know what? They don't look half bad. It's been speculated that Spider-Man 3 could finally set up a live-action Sinister Six storyline. Now we all know that Andrew Garfield's Amazing Spider-Man movies were building towards a Sinister Six. We had the scene in the hallway with the Vulture's wings and Doc Ock's tentacles, and we had Paul Giamatti giving a pretty terrible performance as the Rhino. But that universe of course fell apart and those plans were left unfulfilled. However, the MCU has been setting up its own version of the Sinister Six. We have the Vulture, who in prison runs into the Scorpion. And we have Mysterio, who appeared dead or dying at the end of Far From Home, but I mean, let's face it, the guy's whole gimmick is tricking people and using illusions, so I think it's safe to assume that he may still be alive and kicking and looking for payback. And then we got something that I don't think any of us expected, when Sony's Morbius trailer released and Michael Keaton walked on screen. Now it was never confirmed if he was playing the Vulture, but it sure looked like it. That opens up a whole can of worms as far as contracts and legalities between Sony and Marvel that I'm not going to get into, but it raises a lot of questions and it opens the door to a ton of possibilities. Captain Marvel introduced the Skrulls to the MCU with her debut film. However, to many fans' surprise, the Skrulls were not the villains in the story like they'd been portrayed to be in the trailers and advertisements. The Skrulls' existence in the MCU opens the door to a secret invasion storyline, where it's revealed in the comics that the Skrulls have been quietly conducting an invasion of Earth, using their shape-shifting abilities to secretly take over the identity of numerous heroes. Just like the classic film Invasion of the Body Snatchers, this creates a whirlwind of paranoia as nobody knows who they can trust because literally anybody could be a Skrull in disguise. Right now it seems like the Skrulls are allies to the Avengers, but that could quickly change. At the end of Far From Home, it's revealed that Nick Fury was actually a Skrull the whole movie, and there's mention of Skrull sleeper cells back on Earth. That sounds like a perfect setup for Secret Invasion. Now here's one that not that long ago I would never have even held my breath for. The idea of seeing Tobey Maguire, Andrew Garfield, and Tom Holland all on screen as the various versions of Spider-Man from their movies sounds like a dream, a very unlikely dream. However, I have a new glimmer of hope. Recently it was announced that Michael Keaton was in talks to reprise his role as Bruce Wayne and Batman in a Flashpoint Paradox film. Keaton's portrayal of Batman in the Tim Burton films is widely considered one of the greatest on-screen versions of that character. The idea of merging the universe from those films with the DCEU sounds crazy and amazing. So if DC is considering taking this huge leap, is it possible Marvel is too? After all, we already have Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness set for release, with the original Spider-Man trilogy's Sam Raimi in talks to direct. So could this be Marvel's first step at establishing a multiverse and merging the Spider-Man films? The animated film Into the Spider-Verse was a huge success, and there's no doubt that the fans want this, so maybe it really is within the realms of possibility. If Sony and Marvel somehow figured out a way to make this happen, I predict it would be a bigger cinematic event than even Avengers Endgame. But there's a lot of unknowns right now, and all we can do is sit back and see where the next 10 years of the MCU take us. Would you like to see any of these in the MCU? Do you think we're on the right track or are we way off? Let us know in the comments. I'm Joshua Ryan, and don't forget to like and subscribe to stay tuned for future updates on all things entertainment.